What's poppin' T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea, All Shade Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 16, Episode 5 review. Okay, so in tonight's episode, we pick up exactly where we left off on the last episode with Heather threatening Shannon that if she ever comes after her family again, they will not only be friends, but she'll lose even more than just a friend. And Shannon just sitting there looking at her all. I would have snatched her by her ponytail. Bitch, who the fuck are you talking to, first of all? I still stand on the fact that Shannon was being messy. She was being messy. She was plotting. And Heather, excuse me, Heather had every right to feel some type of way, especially when they were supposed to be starting anew after having such a skewed past. But bitch, don't threaten me. Don't threaten me at all. Like, calm the fuck down. But then again, how would I react? I probably would have threatened her ass too. So Heather then, after Shannon tearfully apologizes, then says that she needs to apologize to her big nose husband. So then she brings him out. Shannon gives him a tearful apology. Girl, I would not have done all that because it was not that damn deep. Like, girl, all right. So Shannon then goes tell her man what happened and that Heather threatened her, and he was like, I don't like that. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't like that at all. Well, if you don't like it, then go confront them, her and her husband, and say something about it. Instead of you just standing over there in a corner like a little pussy, like the fuck. Because when the husband came over there, when Heather's husband should have, when it came over there, you should have been over there with your bitch instead of sitting over there in the corner drinking champagne. So then Jen asks Noella, can they talk? And she asks her, what's the issue or whatever. Now, remind you, Noella is mixed. She's white and she's black or whatever. Love Noella. She's my new favorite. So Noella in her confession was like, the two times that I met Jen, she met Jen through the old castmate Bronwyn. She was like, the two times that I met her was very superficial. She was very quick to do a selfie. I'm like, who is this girl? That would have weirded me out too. Like, I don't know you. Why the fuck you asked me to take a selfie with you? So Jen was like, did I do something to upset you? And Noella was like, yeah, it's not upsetting. It was disturbing. Baby girl did not miss a beat. She went in immediately to say that it was not upsetting. It was disturbing that this lady asked her for a selfie, had me dying laughing. So Noella was like, 2 weeks ago, you posted a picture of yourself, poorly lit, baby. Jen's mouth was like, white women be like, how dare you? Like, baby, saying that lady picture was poorly lit tickled my funny bone. This is a white black woman read if I've ever seen one in my life. So Noella was like, thanking your patience, and you tagged me in it. I worked with a certain med spa, have for years. I had to report to Instagram to have it removed. She said she had the shit removed. Bitch, I'm dead. So Jen was like, I don't even remember tagging you. I'm sorry if that upset you. Noelle was like, who tagged somebody that they've met twice in a photo of themselves? That's not even a cute one. She said that the picture was ugly. Jen's still sitting there. Baby, the fact that she told this lady that her picture was poorly lit and that it wasn't even a cute picture. Child, baby, this was an iconic read, baby. It was everything. Then Noel was like, I could feel a little energy from you that you are thirsty. So Jen was like, I'm not thirsty. Noel was like, I'm like, let's get this girl a glass of lemonade. You were like, let's do this. Let's take a selfie. It's weird. Jen was like, what are you talking about? And Noella was like, at Bronwyn's house. And Jen says, you literally that night were saying, my God is Tom Ford. And I find it very offensive. And Noella was like, "Oh my God, girl, try to be relevant somewhere else. I can't." And I'll agree with her on that instance. Like I said, Tom Ford is my guy. Like, bitch, you know damn well I was playing like have several. Like you doing the most now at this part. I think that I don't know if she just didn't click with Jen or like she said, she felt some thirstiness coming from her. But the fact that she tagged her in the picture was not that uproaring where she had to get it removed. Is that well, if she did tag her in a picture of herself and then promoting her med spa, her, whatever, I would be feeling some type of way. Like, are you trying to lead people to believe that you've done work on me? Like, what are you doing? Like, that would have been weird to me in that aspect. I would have been like, what? Huh? What is going on here? Um, so Noella then goes inside and talks to Shannon and her man. Meanwhile, Heather goes and asks Jen, is she okay? And she was like, no, I'm not. Noella just went off on me for like tagging her in a picture, told me I was thirsty, and told me to get a glass of lemonade. Like, these white girls ain't never heard no shit like this before in their life. So Heather was like, can you explain the lemonade part? They were so clueless. She was so awestruck. It was like the audacity of her to tell me I'm thirsty and to go get lemonade. I don't even know what that means. So then Heather was like, I heard she said some things about me, but I'm just gonna let it go because she's going through some things. And so Noella then overhears them talking about her. So she goes back out there because ain't no punk about her, ain't no pussy over her. So Noella was like, you told me I offended your religion by saying Tom Ford is God. That is ridiculous. Heather walks away at this point, child. She like, child, not tonight, Jesus. No. So Noella was like, I just had the worst week of my life, sweetheart, and you are a rude little girl. Baby, Jen didn't know what to do with herself. Jen was discombobulated. Jen was speechless. You would have thought Jen got slapped in the face with a bag of dicks. This lady didn't know what to do with this read, honey. She was not prepared. She got TKO'd and she didn't know what to do. Her back was against the ropes. So Heather says to Shannon, we can't do this at two parties. Like, come on. So they go over and separate them. Shannon, Heather, and Noella then join Gina and her man and some other people at one of the tables or whatever. And Shannon feeling some type of way that, Heather is excluding her from the conversation and she really wasn't including Noella either. Noella didn't really give a fuck though, or whatever. So Heather then invites Gina and her man to the racetrack with them. And it's like a couples thing. And Shannon, of course, felt some type of way that they didn't get an invite because it's rude to invite somebody to something and you have other people at the table that and you don't invite them as well, which is a very rude thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Heather knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. She was further punishing Shannon for what Shannon did, and then also punishing Noella for what she heard that Noella said about her. But my thing is, how about you just ask her if she said these things about you because you going off what Nicole said to you. And for all you know, Nicole could be lying and just stirring up shit. Even though I do believe Noella said what she said about Heather because Heather is a goddamn bitch. Let's just keep it a buck. Heather is a bitch. She's a bitch. She's a elitist, uppity ass bitch. I live for it though, baby, because I wish I was a elitist, uppity ass bitch too. So then we see Shannon and Noella at some little place getting some shit done. And Shannon tells her what Heather said to her, threatening her. And of course, Noella is not having this. Noella was like, Heather is not better than you. Stop taking shit. Like, girl, fuck her. So I have to point out Noella's Billie Holiday inspired confessional look. Didn't really like the way they pulled it together, but I love the appreciation and the homage. Love it. And I love the fact I started following Noella on Instagram and she's loves to promote black designers and she's all about the Black Lives Matter movement. I really like her. I really, really do. And I'm happy that they added her to the cast because they needed some spice. You know what I'm saying? And I love that she is pro black and she lets you know, yes, I am black, ma'am. Don't get it twisted. Just because, I got these, features and I'm tall and skinny and was a model. Like, please don't get it twisted. She is black. So then we see Jen is at her house and she has Nicole and her clown makeup, Emily, Gina, and Gina over to her house. And so they sitting down drinking and, eating from the charcuterie board or whatever. And Gina and Emily want to know what's going on with Noella. So Nicole and Jen say, how she basically was calling Jen ugly. So Jen was like, in the year that I've known her, the story keeps changing. They're married, then they're not married. It's all confusing. So Emily was like, obviously they are married because he can't file for divorce if they aren't married. And Jen was like, are they? Are they? I'm very skeptical. And I was like, well, bitch, you didn't have none of this energy when she was in your face reading you down, ma'am. Like, where was this energy then? The whole time she was in your face, all you could do was and look stupid. So Emily, in her confessional, was like, for Jen to say Noella really isn't married to her husband is a very salacious thing to say. I think she wants to tarnish her image, so we also don't like her. And I 100% agree. And I'm like, Emily, you got it down packed. And I'm happy that you seeing right through this shit because my thing is, why didn't you have that energy when Noella was in your face? You talking all this shit when she ain't around, but when she was in your face, it was on mute. So Jen was like, coming from a doctor's perspective, I put all the pieces together. She doesn't seem stable. She doesn't seem sane. I'm like, bitch, you are not a therapist. You inject bitches in the face with collagen and fucking Botox, bitch. You ain't got nothing to do with the brain. Shut the fuck up. Like, now she's unstable and now she's not sane. Meanwhile, you're married to a man that don't never put on the shirt. Girl, sit down somewhere. So Emmy was like, I think she needs a raw and real conversation where we're here for her, but she can't, treat people like shit. And I agree. Just because you're going through something don't mean that you can just be a mean bitch to people. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. But so far, I haven't seen her be a bitch to anybody. Obviously, it's a just cause for her not to vibe with Jen. Now, with this thing with Heather, I'm really not understanding it because yeah, Heather is a bitch, but she ain't did nothing to you. But next week we will find out more on what Noella's issue with her. And I also think she don't fuck with Heather based off what she's seen between Heather and Shannon. And I'm like, Shannon a little shaky girl, so don't just be riding full on with Shannon. So it's the day of the racetrack event. Gina and her man join Heather and her husband, and they at the table talking. And Gina leans over to Heather and was like, I talked to Noella yesterday. She warned me to be careful of you. Now, mind you, she's saying this based off the conversation that she had with Shannon telling her that, Heather threatened her or whatever. And you do have to be cautious of Heather because Heather is one of those people where as long as you're on her good side or kissing her ass, everything is good. But then you do something to make her mad, she's punishing you for it and excluding you and making you feel small. So I mean, there is some truth in that, and Gina does need to be cautious of that. You know what I'm saying? Because she did Tamara and Vicky the same way. As soon as she was off the show and she didn't need them anymore, she stopped being a friend. So Heather was like, I don't like someone's knee jerk reaction as being distrustful of someone. It puts me in a weird position because I invited her to Mac's book party. So Gina was like, she's a bomb that's going to detonate. Like, it's going to fucking go off or whatever. And granted, because she's going through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Her husband fucking up and left her ass over some bullshit and she don't even understand why. So Emily goes to Noella's house to see her and to talk. And Noella tells her that she walked down that Sunday to a big bouquet of flowers being delivered to her and was told that she'd been served. So her husband served her again, because remember the first time he served her, the mama was the one that got the paper, so she wasn't technically served. So to make sure that she got the flowers this time, I mean the paperwork this time, he had flowers attached to it so she could be served. That's a cruel motherfucker there. This motherfucker, I feel like living a double life. Like it's something wrong. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on with this man, but he is diabolical from the stuff that's going on the show and in current time. So of course she busts out crying, and Emmy was like, "Wow, like that's some crazy shit there." So Emily was like, when I was at Jen's house, she said your marriage wasn't real. She said you had a fake wedding ceremony. And she was like, girl, really? Okay. So Emily, her confessional was like, I'm starting to see that her divorce is true and accurate, which makes me question Jen. Like, she's starting to see that Jen is full of shit. So she tells, Noella that I'm here for you if you need anything. I got lawyers that you can talk to. She was like, if you ever say something about me, if I say comment on something, we just gonna squash it. It is what it is. Basically, letting each other know how this show runs, and yeah, we will get into it at some point. And Noella was very appreciative that she's there for her. And Emily was like, "Girl, let's go throw these flowers the fuck out. Fuck him." And so they go outside and throw the flowers away in the trash can, and the episode goes off. Child, I love this episode because Noella read Jen ass down to the floor. She skinned her to the white meat. I can't believe she said it was poorly lit and it wasn't even a cute one. Child, Noella is my favorite. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell button. I have an interview coming up this Saturday that I will be filming with my pastor Trina Davis from I can't even say the damn name of the damn church. Word Word for the World Ministry. And she is Sheridan's mother. And I can not wait to interview her. I will have the actual interview video up Tuesday of next week. This is not an interview you want to miss. It's going to be very informative. She has a new single coming out that we're going to promote, and I just can't wait for you to see Sheridan's mom and to see where she gets all of her class and grace from. So make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday for my interview with none other than Pastor Trina Davis from Word for the World Ministries International. So get ready for that interview. Make sure that you all tune into Paper Heart on Tubi. Continue to support to all of your family and friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you to every one of you who've already watched it. Also, make sure you guys purchase my next book box for my next novel, Dream 3. That is not the title, but that's the sequence in the series. We're on book 3. You do not want to miss this book box. It is going to be a legendary book box. If you don't copy it and you read my books, and when the shit drop and you find out what's inside, you're gonna be like, oh my God, why did I not get it? So make sure you guys get it. The link will be down below in the description box. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for Growing Up Hip Hop. The show has returned. Love you. Bye.